Have you ever felt like the world could use just a little more kindness? Or maybe you're wondering how one small action could change someone's life, or even a whole community. In today's video, we're sharing a story that will inspire you, challenge you, and maybe even surprise you. It's about compassion, hope, and the kind of selflessness that turns strangers into heroes. And if you're looking for a little light in a dark time, or just need a reminder of what kindness can do, you're in the right place. Stay with us, because this story might just change the way you see the world. In a secluded town, far from bustling cities, life unfolded in a rhythm of peace and quiet harmony. The townsfolk embraced their days with simple joys, though, like any community, they faced their share of struggles. One such moment arrived on a sunlit spring afternoon. A traveler named Elias, weary from his long journey through the countryside, was making his way home. The dusty road stretched endlessly before him as he walked with a modest bag slung over his shoulder. His possessions were meager, but his heart brimmed with hope, as if every step carried the promise of renewal. Elias had spent months away, wandering from village to village. He sought not riches but wisdom, collecting stories, lessons, and fragments of understanding wherever he went. His return was not just to rest, it was to share what he had gathered with his people. In his mind, he envisioned their faces, eager and curious, as he recounted tales of distant lands. The thought quickened his pace, even as the warm sun made the air heavy. As Elias approached a crossroad near the town, the tranquility of his journey shattered. A harrowing scene unfolded before him. A man lay crumpled at the edge of the path, his body battered and bloodied. The victim of a vicious assault, he had been abandoned to the whims of fate. Passers-by hurried by, avoiding his gaze, their steps quickened by whispered prayers for the fallen stranger. But Elias couldn't turn away. Something deep within him stirred, a conviction that outweighed his own weariness. Elias knelt by the man, his hands steady despite the grim sight. He carefully assessed the injuries, the bruises and cuts telling a story of senseless violence. Without hesitation, he tore strips from his own clothing to bandage the wounds, improvising as best he could. Each movement carried a mix of urgency and tenderness. From his bag, he drew out a small flask of water and pressed it to the man's parched lips, his heart aching as the stranger drank greedily. He even offered a portion of his meager rations, the food disappearing in desperate bites. For Elias, the man's survival mattered more than the weight of his own hunger. After some time, the wounded man began to regain his strength. His breathing steadied, and he opened his eyes, tears glistening as they met Elias's gaze. "Why would a stranger like you help me with such kindness?" he asked, his voice trembling with emotion. Elias smiled gently, his expression calm yet warm. "In my faith, I've learned the importance of helping others, no matter who they are. It is our duty to care for one another," he said, his tone simple but firm. The man was moved beyond words by Elias's generosity. As he stood with Elias's help, he vowed to repay such kindness by passing it on whenever he could. Each step they took toward the town was filled with silent understanding, the bond between them stronger than words. When they arrived, the townspeople rushed to provide care for the injured man, their hearts touched by the story Elias shared. The tale of the Good Samaritan was once again alive, not as a lesson from the past, but as a living reminder of compassion and selflessness. Elias's act of kindness rippled through the town, inspiring others to look beyond themselves and embrace the responsibility of caring for one another. Word of Elias spread quickly throughout the town. His act of kindness struck a chord, inspiring the townspeople to view each other with renewed compassion and generosity. The spirit of solidarity, once a flickering ember, grew into a blazing fire that warmed the entire community. From that day forward, the town became a place where mutual care and support thrived, all thanks to the selfless choice of a weary traveler who decided to make a difference in the life of a stranger. The story of the Good Samaritan isn't just a tale from long ago. It's a timeless reminder of the power of compassion and empathy. It challenges us to see beyond our differences and recognize the shared humanity that binds us. No matter who we are or where we come from, each of us carries the potential to change lives through simple acts of kindness. The first lesson we can draw from this is the importance of attentiveness. By being aware of the needs of those around us, we open the door to meaningful action. Many times, the opportunity to make a difference is closer than we think, waiting only for us to notice. Too often, we become so absorbed in our own lives that we fail to notice the pain and struggles of those around us. The story of the Good Samaritan is a gentle but powerful reminder to remain sensitive to signs of suffering and to act with compassion when we encounter someone in need. It calls us to pause, to see, and to care, simple actions that can transform lives. The tale also teaches us that kindness knows no boundaries. The Good Samaritan didn't hesitate to help a stranger, despite the differences that might have separated them. It's a profound reminder that true compassion extends to everyone, regardless of origin, race, religion, or social standing. In a world often divided, such generosity bridges gaps and builds connections that transcend what divides us. Finally, the story reveals an essential truth about generosity. Its value lies in expecting nothing in return. The Samaritan's actions were driven by pure empathy, not by a desire for recognition or reward. This kind of selflessness is rare but incredibly powerful, a gift that enriches both the giver and the receiver. The Good Samaritan didn't stop to weigh the possibility of reward or recognition. He simply acted out of compassion and a genuine desire to help. His actions remind us that true altruism is a gift from a heart, untainted by personal ambition. It's this selfless spirit that makes acts of kindness so transformative, not just for those who receive them, but for the world as a whole. This timeless story teaches us that each of us holds the power to make a difference. The problems of the world may feel overwhelming, but the Samaritan's example proves that even small acts of kindness can ripple outward, creating profound change in someone's life. These simple gestures, offering help, showing empathy, or just being present, carry a quiet strength that transforms despair into hope. So, may we all find inspiration in the story of the Good Samaritan. Let's strive to be agents of kindness and compassion, attentive to the needs of others and generous with our time and care. One small gesture at a time, we can make the world a better place. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Turn on notifications to stay updated as we explore a journey of faith, renewal, and purpose together. Join our community today and be part of a movement that spreads light and hope to all corners of the world.